This plant is known as Ceropegia crassifolia, and I think it's a variation crassifolia. And crassifolia just means really thick, thick foliage or thick leaves. And you could see actually closer to here that these are a little bit more succulent. The newer leaves I've noticed, as you can see, this is a twining and vining plant. It's actually native to Africa, so parts of Namibia, Kenya, Botswana, kind of the Cape Provinces, kind of those areas. And you can see I've had this kind of growing in my house. That's in a very wild and weird way, so I had to untwine it quite a lot from the plants that it was growing on in order to be able to show this to you today for 365 days of plants. And what was interesting about it is this is growing in my northeast facing window. This plant can actually handle a little bit more high, bright, indirect light. But I am growing it in my northeast facing window, and this long internode right here that you see is largely because it was growing under my anthurium, so it was being shaded out, and it found the quickest point to get to the sunlight, and you could see that the internodes have started to decrease in size, and you could see that it's like been twining all over the place and has, you know, taken up residence in my home. Now, this will lose some of its leaves in the winter, so it can go dormant, but it will pop right back up. And if it does go dormant, then don't water it, or water it very little, because it's not going to be growing, so you don't need to be watering it so much. At the very least, you might be able to mist it. Now, if you're in an area that doesn't have a winter, then this plant may not go into dormancy. And if you are growing Ceropegia crassifolia, I would love to hear whether it actually goes dormant in your area. As far as fertilizing goes, Ceropegia doesn't really need to be fertilized all that much. If you want to fertilize it on an annual basis, that will be fine for this plant. It won't need anything more. And a succulent fertilizer will likely be totally sufficient for it. So a 1-2-2, maybe if you hit it up with something that has some micronutrients, but these plants are meant to be survivors, and they live in very harsh terrain. So you could probably tell from that perspective that would actually be a very good houseplant for those who might be a little bit more neglectful.